everyone. So I had a request for some like squat tips and kind of a little tutorial about correct form and things like that. So today, basically what we're gonna do is just have a quick video on like perfect squat form. So here we go. First I'm gonna start with a bodyweight squat. I'm gonna show you from the side so you can kind of tell what's going on a little bit better. Just some tips for when you are squatting if you're just doing a normal squat stance. So you want your feet to be somewhere in the range of under your hips, whatever is most comfortable for you. You want your toes to be pointing forward. You don't want them in, you don't want them out. And yeah, we're gonna go from there. So feet are placed right under my hips for the most part, maybe a little bit wider here. So one of the things you want to keep in mind is core is nice and engaged, so you're pulling that belly button back to your spine. Abs are working in your squats always. Your chest is going to be nice and open. You don't want to be squatting like this. That's not going to be good for your back. So chest is nice and open, core is engaged, and we're going to start the movement by pushing our hips back, and our knees are going to bend as we push our hips back. But what you want to keep in mind not to do is start the movement by pushing your knees forward. So this is going to put a lot of added pressure on your knees. You can see how far, the further down I go, the more my knees kind of go forward, and I can already feel it in my legs or in my knees, and I don't even squat like that all the time. So imagine doing rep after rep of incorrect squat form. It can take a toll. So, chest is nice and open, core is engaged, and we're going to push back, kind of just at the hips. You're going almost like someone came and poked you right here, all right? So here we go. We're going to squat. I'm going to just keep my hands kind of out in front of me so that they're not blocking any of what my body's doing. We're going back and down here. And then you're pressing up through your heels. So one thing to keep in mind when you're squatting as well, you don't want your weight in your toes. For just this traditional squat, normal squat, on almost every squat variation, unless someone is purposely putting the weight in their toes for some type of tiptoe variation on the squat they're doing, you want your weight to be in your heels and then in the balls of your foot. So from here to here, it's helpful. I don't know if you can tell, but I'll sometimes when I'm teaching people to squat, my clients, I'll tell them to try and put their toes up. Try and touch your toe up to the top of your shoe. So that way you know you're not putting any weight in it, and it's a good reminder. So here we go again. Arms are out, and we're sitting back and sinking down. So see, chest is nice and open, abs are engaged, butt is back and sinking. So here we go. You're going back and down, just like this. And you're really squeezing at the top, and you're pressing through those heels. All right, so that's pretty much going to be our basic squat form, some things to remember. Then, of course, you can add weights, and you can hold them really however is going to be most comfortable for you. But it is going to change a little bit how you feel when you're squatting, obviously. So when you add weights is when form gets even more important. So here we go, just to show you with my weights right here, always remembering. So feet about hip width, weight is not in our toes, abs are engaged, chest is open, and we're sitting back and down, all right? Starting with that hip movement. So here we go, we're just gonna squat. And notice when I squat, I don't do this. We don't want our chest facing the ground during our squat. That's going to put some strain in your back. So chest is nice and open and lifted. So someone could pretty much read, if I had something written on my shirt, they could read it. So here we go. Nice squat form, just like that. So you're really remembering to press up through the heels and the balls of your feet here. And yeah, so if you have any questions, if I didn't clarify something, definitely ask below in the comments and I'll answer. But one more point before we go, I'm going to show you from straight on. So here we go, you can really tell about where my feet are positioned, right outside my hips, right around there. And just so you can see it from the front, so we're just going to sit back and down and just see how nice and open my chest is. None of this. You don't want to be squatting like that, especially when you add weight. It's going to be really stressful to your back. So just back and down, right here, just like that. And then another thing you want to keep in mind is really keep track of what your knees are doing laterally. So sometimes when we're new at a squat, or if we're going too heavy, or if we're really tired, our form will slip a little bit. So always make sure your knees aren't coming in and your knees knees aren't going out, anything weird. You want them right over the ankles for the most part when you're in the bottom of this squat. And when you're pushing up through the heels, just wanting them to come straight back. So here's what you want to avoid real quick. Anything like this, where your knees are coming in, that's very stressful to them. So right here, if it helps you to keep it in mind, you can get a loose band and put it around your knees and just really focus on having to keep that band tight. So your knees are staying out over your ankles down here. So just like that, all right? So there you go. There's some squat tips, some squat form. Very important things to remember, especially when you start adding weight or you start doing plyos or you just do a lot of squats. Repetitive bad form can be really kind of painful to your knees. So again, if you have some questions, ask them below. I'll do my best to get to them and answer them verbally. I know sometimes talking about exercises in type can be a little tough, but I hope that this helped and I hope that it'll get your squats going. Great, so I'll see you next time, hopefully for a workout instead of a tutorial, and yeah, have an awesome day, guys.